Matt Formston was just 5 years old when he lost 95% of his vision after being diagnosed with a rare eye condition. It didn't stop his dream of becoming a professional surfer. He went on to become a four-time para-surf world champion and record-holding Paralympic cyclist. He's also set a new record for the largest wave surfed by a vision-impaired male, which is being captured in a new feature-length documentary called The Blind Sea. Here's a sneak peek.
As a blind person, it's easier to surf bigger waves. People would always say to me, you can't do that because you're disabled.
Oh my God, is this how you see? Nazare is one of the most dangerous waves in the world.
I just say don't die.
And I'm delighted to say that Matt joins me in the studio. Matt, that's just an incredible trailer. I'm touched by your son as well. He's just so gorgeous. But let's start with Portugal's at Nazare. It is the most terrifying, the most dangerous break in the world for professional surfers. How does someone who is legally blind even consider navigating it?
It's all about capacity. So you don't start off one day saying, I'm just going to surf there. I've built up over the years and surf bigger and bigger and bigger waves. And obviously there's no other waves really. There's no training ground for Nazare. It's double the size of everything else. But yeah, like me and my team, I held my breath for a long time. My breath capacity obviously has to be really, like I can hold my breath for almost 6 minutes. I train to do that so that if I do, you don't make those waves, you get held under for a long time. So I was just building that team and then building the ways of doing it. So I use a whistle. Instead of like a normal big wave surfer would tow on the rope and then decide they want to let go of the rope if it's the right wave. My team does that for me and they blow a whistle and then I just have to trust and let go of the rope. And then they steer me using the whistle, which is documented in the film.
And you rode into the record books with that 50-foot wave.
Yep.
How did
51 feet.
51 feet.
Don't cut that foot off.
Stay corrected. Oh my goodness. I mean, you must be so proud. Your family must be so proud. How do you reflect on that accomplishment?
Look, for me, it wasn't about the accomplishment. It's just about having fun. And I obviously want to push myself and see what's possible for me. Like everything I've done in sport has been around just being inquisitive about what's possible. And I was just lucky that we got that XL swell and I was able to get those big waves and just got the joy of it. And it's an inclusive thing as well. Like I've got some of the best big wave surfers in the world that are taking me out to take me surfing and keep me safe. So just the feeling of them wanting to do that and give me their time is a special thing for me as well.
Yeah, you've got some great surfers featuring in that doco. We saw Joel Parkinson, we heard from Lane Beachley. Yeah. They would have given you some advice and support, but what did they learn from you?
Yeah, look, they both gave me different advice. Joel told me that he surfed over there and it was the fastest he's ever been on a surfboard, and now that I've done it, I would agree with him. And Lane said, just don't do it, it's too dangerous. So. But I think, in the documentary, Lane tried surfing with my vision, and Joel did it as well. I went to a number of pro surfers around the world. I've got goggles that simulate my vision, and everyone that does it, it's a perspective thing. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, and then they do it, and then they all start talking about the feeling, how they can feel they're more connected with their feet, and they feel the board more than they do, even though they're professional surfers and they surf every day. All of a sudden, surfing changes for them by stepping into my world. So. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that I've probably given them, it's just that perspective of how people do things differently.
And you're not just a professional surfer, we're seeing some great cycling shots of you as a para-cyclist. It's a very powerful message. Having a disability doesn't mean accepting a life of limitations, or these are your words, and you've proven that also in the business world.
Yep, yeah, I'm very proud that I head up sustainability for Optus Business and Enterprise. And I'm on a few different boards, and it's all been, my parents brought me up with this whole mindset of there's no such thing as can't. I wasn't allowed to use the word can't in my household. I had to explain, like if I chose not to do something, it's a choice and why I'm not doing it, or I don't currently have capacity to do that and this is what I need to get there. And I think from having that framework as a child has really set me up for success now. And as a business leader, it's all about making decisions and having information to make those decisions and articulating to my team that everything's possible to do. Like surfing like Nazare is a great example. Like you're going to have to not do other things to do that. You know what I mean? So it's about what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're not going to do to be able to make sure that you can do the things you really want to achieve.
How has sport changed or influenced your life?
Look, sport, I grew up, and I went through mainstream school in the 80s. Kids with disabilities didn't go to mainstream school in the 80s, they went to special disability schools. So I mean, I was one of the first kids to do that, and the society wasn't set up. So I had a lot of bullying, like a lot of bullying. Everywhere I went, I was different. Like in class, I couldn't read books. All the other kids could read books, so I just had to listen. But sport was always the place where I was included. Like if I played rugby league, I played rugby union, I played ice hockey, and there was never a time I remember playing those sports where the boys would bully me or treat me differently. Like if I missed the puck, they would say, "Why did you miss it?" It wasn't to do with my side. It's just because I wasn't there, or I wasn't trying hard enough. And the same with footy. I did things differently, but I was always included. And sport's been that thing for me where I've been included, and it's not about what your disability is or what your weakness is. It's just about who's the best person, who's putting the most effort. And for me, it's been where I've had my most success as well. And it's also, a lot of time in business, there's lots of grey, like did we succeed or didn't we succeed, or are we going to get there or are we not going to get there? In sport, you either win or you lose. And yeah, it's black and white.
Well, you are a true winner. Matt, it's been wonderful talking to you. The Blind Seat premieres in cinemas nationwide from August the 15th.
Thank you so much for having me.